Hello, YouTube! Well, this one's gonna be a longer video because, a lot of shit happened in the last, 2 to 3 days. God damn. So, the major thing that's happened is Jessica was talking about her parents. And we were talking with the people we were living with, which is JD, the little B, H, and Sue. Yes.
And Jessica.
The problem of the entire thing. And Jessica, whatever the fuck, not
Wallace.
this one.
Oh, Willis was
Wong could have done it.
something.
Okay, that
Jessica
time it's a
W.
scab and not a tick.
Jessica W. Just put that. Say that.
And yeah, you figure out why I don't like them personally after later, but we were all talking, and Jessica came out about her parents, particularly her father. And apparently, ever since he came into the picture, her stepfather came into the picture, from 13 up to 19. She's being sexually harassed. Pictures, feeling it up, so on and so forth. Literally just with her sister, which is 13 right now. He was butt naked outside, and she walked to go with the dog, and she got yanked on the arm. She screamed for her mom, and he screamed at her. Yeah. That was sent over text. So we went to the police station and basically are going to put her stepfather and her mother into jail. But we have a feeling that they won't last until from winter, past winter, in living, which sucks. Honestly, and the worst part is her mother knew and was keeping her inside the trailer. One entrance, one exit. Yeah, not okay. And that was a big thing, a game changer at this point. Now I feel like a fucking jackass for being as hard on her as I have been. And yeah. Mind you, by the way, we are in Medford right now. Apartment complex. Whole 9.
Let's start from the very beginning on this story, because this one's crucial.
So, we bought a trailer, and we found out how bad this trailer was. The wall wasn't connected. The floor was rotting out in multiple areas. We went to take it apart a little bit to try to fix it up. And, we put some of the materials inside the little trailer, and I was gonna pay for the trailer. I've bought about, 6 cases of Pepsi within, 1 week, and they were all gone. And the kids don't tend to drink them. The baby's been born. Adorable.
He's so cute. His name is Kyron.
Aunt Sue's being a bitter bitch, as usual. Can't sit in my chair without anyone around. Even though she's not even here. Or there, whatever I mean. But yeah. They all, so, were telling me about how bad of a purchase it was. But we kind of wanted to run by a couple ideas. Maybe taking the trailer, fixing it up a little bit, and taking it up to Spencer. Or we would upgrade the Jeep's axles and be able to pull it with upgrading the transmission, the axles, everything but the engine, basically, to be able to pull it. Or making it to where it can propel itself by putting an engine in it. Not a steering wheel, just an engine, and it would only propel the wheels and that it has. To give it like, like pedal assist for your bike, but pedal assist or drive assist for your trailer. So it doesn't have to pull it, basically.
Since obviously the Jeep died.
Because since obviously we had to replace the radiator and the Jeep died and overheated, and we got a new radiator. We put it in. It costed $50 on a special deal, and it was a sports edition, so it was like a $200 purchase that we bought for $50 at basically a car junkyard. And we got it installed for us, and I paid about $30 to the person we were staying with to install it. But the thing is, he didn't tell me that he was going to charge me until after he already did it.
And we would have watched a YouTube video to do it.
Yeah, we could have watched YouTube videos to do it. But normally those things cost, to be able just to install it, about $75 or whatever he said it cost, which I kind of believe him. He was cool during this time. And yeah. Is there anything else I need to describe before I hit the big banger besides Jessica's parents?
Let me think. Not anything right off the bat. Fix the Jeep. And I think the same night, that wasn't a night before.
Oh, I know, Jace.
Oh, yeah.
Jace, our friend, wants to help us and now wants to live with us on our adventure. And at the moment we have his tent on accident, kind of like circumstantial. And
And also, like, a lot of his other things.
and a few of his other things too. We got 4 people on, and try to think. Basically, Jace wanted to help us out. He wanted to work with us. I was trying to help him out, and we've been staying in the place we're living at, in one of the bedrooms, because they don't use them. And we're trying the best that we can, try to figure out what we're supposed to do next. And then, a couple days ago, yesterday, they were telling me how I am this evil, manipulative person, basically.
You should start from the beginning, how you were just talking about the trailer.
Yeah, but the reason why they came up to that is because I was talking with Xavier and Jessica about what we should do with the trailer. Out of the 6 different ideas we came up with. 1, selling the trailer as is, and just basically getting our money back. Or upgrading the trailer and selling that. Upgrading the Jeep. Or we can upgrade the trailer and keep it by making it self-propel, or tearing it all down and make it into a tiny house in our design. And or if we buy a truck and pull it around that way. But they it's going to call this one Jesse and the other one Jesse B.
What? I'm Jesse B.
I'm going to call you Jesse A.
Okay.
Or just Jesse. Makes it easier. So, when I was talking to Xavier and Jessica, I figured because we were going off subject constantly, most of it, the off subject portion of it, was Jessica. So, and she's worrying about her turning in her parents, and worried about a lot of other things. So I thought maybe taking a few things off her plate. making it easier for her. So I thought me and Xavier can deal with the trailer. And I let her go inside and just worry about what's going on with her family. And honestly, Jessica didn't seem to mind that. I was going to keep her updated and everything, but I wanted to try to take something off her plate.
Jessie B took it as you were being
Yeah.
asked because you just told me she didn't realize I
Can you
agree.
repeat that?
Why are you putting me on camera?
Because you just said it. You just repeat it?
And she said it because he told me she didn't think he asked, even though I said I was okay with it.
And she thinks I was being manipulative in that point and I didn't give her a choice. So she thinks I took her choice away. Jessie B thinks I took Jessica's choice away and didn't make her a part of it. And another thing is, when I tried to talk to, once we tried to figure out what was going on, I tried to talk to everyone else that has a little bit more experience and ask them their options. And they're saying I should just get a new trailer and turn that into a scrapyard. And I'm like, alright, but any lower priced trailers will have the same issue on the fact that it won't be able to go to a park. Because you have to have it within 20 years to be able to go into a trailer park. And no matter what kind of trailer we're going to get, it was going to be under that 20-year mark because of the price. Any cheap trailer is going to be under 20 years. I know, I've looked many times. But they wouldn't let me finish. And Aunt Sue was there as well. And then they started yelling.
Aunt Sue really escalated the yelling.
Aunt Sue escalated the yelling, but Jessica B started the argument. And she admitted that. I started to raise my voice just to be heard because they weren't letting me finish anything. They wouldn't let me get my point across because I'm like my father. Arrogant and manipulative.
And never once, because I was listening to the whole thing in the other room, never once did Andrew start yelling. He was only raising his voice. He didn't have the direct, like, he didn't have a yelling tone. He had a sort of, this is what I'm trying to say tone. Not like a, this is what I'm trying to say tone, you know?
So I wasn't getting
It was all in
angry.
the tone mostly. He was just trying to talk over them so they would actually hear him because there was so much yelling happening. To the point where I could hear it in the other room.
Yeah, and they say they weren't yelling if you can hear it from the other room.
And Aunt Sue was like, you want to hear what it sounds like when I'm actually yelling?
Yeah, it's like, in my mind I'm thinking, I don't care who you are or what you're doing, you're yelling.
Yeah.
And I think I got to the point where I basically did say that. So basically, I got angry to a point, so I did what any sensible person, anyone that was being an adult, trying to be at least, being a civil adult. And I didn't want to deal with the yelling after I told them not to yell. And I walked out of the door. I calmed down for a few seconds, and I went back, holding off the conversation, and then I went back to it and talked to them again, trying to be a little more civil about it. And then they started yelling again about how I'm not letting Jessica have an option and that I'm making all the decisions and she has to fork out money for it. And she has not spent a dime on that thing on purpose. I have. And then they yell about me about how I don't have a job and how unemployment's going to end. And I'm telling them that I know that and I'm not crazy. And they're saying that I'm not willing to have a job. And I'm telling them basically that this doesn't even apply and I'm not manipulative like you think. I'm trying not to be my father and the whole point. And you're not understanding me. And then they were being unreasonable, saying how I'm this, that, and the other, and how I'm arrogant, how I'm manipulative, particularly about how I'm taking her choice away from her, and I'm making her do whatever I want. And other things to be spoken, that I asked them why they're being rude and why they are judging me, because they're plainly attacking me at this point. And they're saying they're not judgmental, and I told them that the reason why we're there is because this one needed the help, so this one became part of the family, and I came along, which was the truth. They hated me as soon as they heard my father's name. And they were yelling at me about how I'm not treating and belittling everyone, and how I'm yelling and being angry. And it got to the point where they thought I was trying to hurt Jessie B, like physically. I didn't clench my fist. I tried to calm everyone down quietly. I tried to voice my opinion as quietly as possible and still be heard, because they were yelling at me for no reason. And I'm trying to tell them, it's like, no, I believe in equality. Everyone here should be equal. And they're saying, but this is my house. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, and I am vulnerable. I've left myself vulnerable to you guys, because you guys could basically hurt me as I'm sleeping, and I wouldn't have anything to do about it. I left myself vulnerable, and I left these two vulnerable to it. You think I'm proud of that? We're supposed to be going on our own, and yet we're still at a parent's house. You think I'm okay with that? And then it got to the subject of how I'm disrespectful, and I went to someone's house and treated them like shit, and I was a horrible person, and I'm manipulative. I bought 6 packs of Pepsi just to find a way to be able to repay them, and they were all gone by the adults. There was only one time I got high, even remotely, and that was the only time I actually did anything with it. And I was being freaking yelled at constantly. And it got so heated. I left the room again, and they were yelling at me about how I'm just a horrible, fucked up person. And when even Xavier tried to defend me at any point.
At that point, they were kicking you out.
Yeah, at that point, they were kicking me out. And they were telling, Xavier came to jump in on my defense, and they're telling him how he's a piece of shit and needed to get out of the conversation.
Yeah, all I did was I went to the Jeep, because I basically, once Jessie B first told Andrew to leave the house because the yelling had gotten so bad, and at that point it was just a shit show. So she told Andrew to leave the house, and I immediately left. I shot them a dirty look to make sure that they knew that I wasn't happy. Then I left the house. I didn't even say a word, and I followed Andrew to the Jeep to accompany him, because obviously he was probably really pissed at that moment.
Yeah.
I wanted to accompany him.
And that was already during a time where they've already yelled at him for getting out of for getting into the conversation.
Yeah.
When he trying to
yelled at me when I said to stop yelling, and she said, "You need to stay out of this. This isn't your argument." And I'm like, "Excuse me." Well, in my head, I'm thinking, "Excuse me, this is my argument. I'm in this."
Yeah.
But anyway, so when we were at the car, and Andrew had gone back to try to have a civil, try to bring back the subject in a civil way, and it became yelling again, to the point where, like, Jessie B, as well as, frick, I already can't.
And this is when they basically left the first time.
They were basically like pushing him out of the house, but not physically. They were just yelling him out of the house again. And so he went back to the Jeep. Then JD came over, or no. Okay, I'm messing up the story. Before he went back to the Jeep, I yelled at him, and I said, "Andrew!" I yelled at the top of my lungs to make sure he heard me. I said, "Andrew, stop talking to them. Get over here and stop talking to them." And Jessie B straight up yelled at me and said, "Shut the F up, you
fat piece of..."
No, you What, it was like stupid, fat piece of S, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Exact words.
And I wasn't insulted by it. I didn't care. She's just pissed, you know.
Yeah.
But that was just like.
Yeah, it got to the
completely
point where they're
unnecessary.
kicking me out,
I
kicking
only-
Xavier out.
And by the way, I did not say that as a spite to them. I basically was just trying to get Andrew to stop talking to them so it wouldn't become a fist fight. So I didn't want things to escalate more than they already had, because at this point it has become a dumpster fire.
Yeah, at this point, they were being unreasonable to begin with.
And so that's why I yell at Andrew to stop talking to them, and they took insult from that apparently. Because they weren't thinking straight, because they were just being idiots.
Yeah.
Then JD comes to the Jeep and starts yelling at Andrew about how he's been physical with Jesse B. And
Yeah.
how he's on his property and throwing construction material into his
Yeah.
trash trailer.
He comes over, and we get into the trailer, and Jessica's the only one that's even allowed there anymore. And so, when I left to go to the Jeep, and then I came back with Jessica next to me, I went to go get my keys because they weren't on me at that time. And he freaking yelled at me to get off his property again and again. And they're renting the property too, so. And they've already had like 18 eviction notices and violations and so on and so forth. Granted, it was the landlord trying to file money out of them, or steal money from them, basically. But still. And then Jessica walked in, and they were screaming out, yelling at me, and Jessica was a god saint and actually got everything outside of the house. Everything. And I'm like, thank the Lord. Jessica rocked this time.
And so at that point, we just freaking yeeted out of there.
Yeah. So then when I went back to the vehicle, because kind of had no choice, JD comes up to my vehicle and was screaming and yelling at me about how I was such a piece of shit to Jesse B and Sue, and I disrespected his wife on his property and this, that, and the other, and I want to kick your face in. And I'm like, do it. I dare you. Trying to basically antagonize him, so as soon as he lands the first punch, I can beat his ass. And I know for a fact that one ass is going to be beat up, but the other one might not give up. And I'm the one that won't give up. I might get my ass handed to me, but I won't give up. And if he lands the first punch, I get that opportunity. And it got so frustrating that I literally punched the trailer multiple times, elbowed it, kicked it, and my hand was bleeding. Without even any of the parents around. And she fixed my hand. So we got everything out of the trailer. Took everything we want out of the trailer. Got it into the Jeep somehow. Including our old radiator. Kept the trailer there. They can fucking deal with it.
It's their problem now.
Yeah, it's their problem now. And we left the property. Never to come back.
We're staying with my dad.
But then we didn't have a place to stay that night. So Jessica here helped us and called her father. And we got to spend the night at her dad's.
And now we're about to spend another night at her dad's.
And we're about to spend another night at her dad's.
And now we're thinking of moving to Medford and
Yeah.
having a place here and getting
And
jobs.
we're thinking about moving to Medford. We already have an idea for a job. We're not going to live here permanently, but we are thinking about staying here for at least 1 month. If
And
that
if all-
doesn't work out.
if all goes well as well, I might stay here for a few years. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
if Medford proves to be better than Grants Pass to me.
Yeah. And the only reason why we didn't move to Medford a long time ago.
College classes over here are all better, just to let you know.
They actually have the programming classes I need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll be able to take them over here.
And all of the,
I like Grants Pass's campus better though.
yeah. All the things that we need to be able to get started are here. And the only reason why I didn't move here is because of Xavier. But now he's down for it because of this bull crap.
Not just that, he found out there's a way for him to get back and forth without asking for rides and only spending a minimum of $4 a
one-round tickets, basically, from a bus. And honestly, if you have a job, that's like pocket change you literally find in your pocket or your couch.
Yeah.
And,
If that's legit, of course.
yeah.
It is. I've taken the bus.
And
Can I get those?
we basically have to live in Medford now, and now Jace is kind of out of his stuff until we get back and he can join
Go back
us,
over for a couple days.
or so on and so forth. And honestly,
But the backpack
I-
zipping
eh.
was Andrew farting again.
I honestly think that on all reality, they, Jesse B, DW, and Sue acted exactly like my father
Sam about moving.
by being visibly, physically, and emotionally abusive. By literally kicking me particularly out because of their own bullshit that they couldn't handle. And quite literally, I pretty much almost had an allergic reaction because I'm allergic to bullshit. I probably almost passed out.
I drove.
My eyes were watering in tears.
I drove. Part of
That was the first time Andrew cried in forever, too.
Yeah,
Like, legit cried.
Good thing I learned how to
same
drive.
with Xavier that night too.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't even off the property before me and Xavier start bursting into tears. And this one held together. Don't know how. And we were talking about switching roles too, where she was the boss and I was the emotional wreck.
Kind of worked for a little bit.
It kind of worked for a little bit.
Until today, and then I broke down because I couldn't hold it much longer.
Yeah. And now we have to rely on someone else to figure out a place for us. And this video is getting longer each time we make a video. And today, exactly, it is January
23rd.
January 23rd, and we
No,
got
not January.
January.
July.
it's July 23rd.
We went back in time.
Yeah, it's July 23rd.
No, we jumped up.
Of
ahead
2020.
It's 2021.
And the first day we got kicked out was on June 23rd, 2020. So it's been exactly 1 month.
You only have to carry the blankie.
And
Also, I think it's technically July 24th now because it's...
well, it's almost midnight.
It is midnight.
It is midnight. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, it's the 24th now. So.
Ah,
It has officially been...
A year and a month and 1 day.
Yeah,
yeah. And
it's officially been beyond 1 day. It hasn't...
Then,
it's been beyond a month. Not 1 day yet.
Sorry.
then
If we go by exactly what time we got kicked out.
this is how I had to deal with. This is basically what I had to deal with the entire time I was at just Gabby's and so on and so forth, where I kept getting interrupted constantly. But yeah, we're thinking about moving to Medford, and I'm basically going to get a job in Medford, and possibly 2 jobs, and now we all have a job. We all will have a job.
'Cause I transferred
And
right
we're moving HUD over, and that's going to be a shorter waiting list. Not that that really matters. Rent is like half as much compared to Grants Pass, and it offers like 50 times more services and better services. And so we're going to have our first start here for at least 1 month, possibly 3, and once 3 are over, we're staying. Or figuring out a different spot. And I'm going to have Jace, Sam, possibly my cousin, we all stay in similar apartments or the same one if we get a house. Because about a 3-bedroom house can be around 600 a month around here. 3-bedroom house, 2 bath, 600 a month.
Oh, God. There's a nest full of wasps right there.
Wow.
They're all there. I hit the lamp and they all started moving.
Yeah. And like and subscribe to our rec show of a family. Stay tuned for next time. See you later.